Hello again, Struck. Today I'm bringing you a video about Diablo, and in particular the Diablo Immortal game. Blizzard's mildly, stressing on mildly, pay-to-win answer to all the mobile, well-farmed action RPG hack-and-slash games. So, as much as I'd like to say the game is not pay-to-win, it does have some elements that give people faster progression, which in turn gives them advantage over those who are progressing slowly. Unless they change some things, the game won't be considered non-pay-to-win by me. But we need to talk about closed beta. Closed beta, it has already started in 2 countries, in Canada and Australia, on October 28th. At 5 PM Pacific time, the beta started. Those would not be the only countries participating in the closed beta. Later on, there will be users in South Korea, Japan and China allowed to participate. I'm kind of still baffled by this racist discriminatory decision by Blizzard. It seems like Blizzard not only has bro culture problems, but also racism and discrimination to deal with in terms of beta testing. It's as if America and Europe and Africa don't exist. Why those 2 countries, Canada and Australia? Why before that only Australian users could play? And why, even though that's the case, there were US users, obviously those big Diablo related streamers and not so Diablo related streamers, they were allowed, they made exceptions for them, even though they weren't from Australia. And I mean, some of those things that Blizzard makes is just, well, it's Blizzard, I guess, that's all you need to know. But let's talk about that. There are certain things that this video would cover, such as the new class Necromancer, which will be playable, the Cycle of Strife, which was updated, some PvP updates as well, set items which were added, new endgame gear system, enhanced item drops, the Helliquary update, some PVE updates as well, and controller support, as well as some other misc changes and optional in-game purchases, as they're calling it. First, let's just read a little bit of the beginning, the introduction. Adventurers, prepare! Diablo Immortal is entering its beta testing phase, bringing us one step closer to worldwide launch. Select participants will experience a host of exciting new features and updates starting October 28th. Select participants in Canada and Australia will journey back to Sanctuary. Additionally, we'll be expanding closed beta access to users in South Korea, Japan and China at a later time. We are thrilled to introduce the Necromancer class, new challenging PvE encounters, epic battles to become the Immortal, controller support and more. Back in August, they shared a development update on Diablo Immortal, and the devs highlighted areas of focus. In retrospect, I can just quickly mention which those areas were: PvE, PvP, controller support, character progression. That's the things that they covered. So there is a new trailer. You might want to check the link in the description, watch that closed beta trailer. You would be seeing footage from it, but not with the sound. In this video I will be including some of that footage from the... Actually, there will be some sound from the press kit footage, but it won't be the actual trailer that has the sound. But yeah, I think it's best to just dive into the new class. Here it is, the Necromancer. Haunt your foes with the dead, so even the demons of the burning hells will feel dread. Reanimate corpses to protect the living, curse the damned with baneful skills, inflict pestilence on the enemy. Alienated and shunned by society, those who underestimate your power ignorant of their grave mistake. Only your commands echo in eternity. Raise the dead, raise the stakes. The Necromancer is here, one of 6 classes that will be available at worldwide launch. So many cliches in this description, it's cringeworthy, but okay. It's a cool class, it looks amazing, it reminds me more of the Diablo 3 Necro rather than the Diablo 2 Necro. But that's kind of true for most of the things in this game. It's more familiar to Diablo 3 than Diablo 2, even though this is considered Diablo 2.5. So this is before Diablo 3, after Diablo 2, when the events are taking place, to those who didn't know already. Now, Cycle of Strife update. The journey vying for the Eternal Crown is arduous and gripping, requiring Shadow players to rally under a single banner to form a Dark House. Fight other Shadows in competing Dark Houses in the Rite of Exile and ultimately qualify as the top Dark House to challenge the Immortals. The Shadows who win the Rite of Exile will progress to a new endgame PvP confrontation. In a desperate struggle, the Immortal will harness ancient powers to defend their reign as a raid boss. The challenge of the Immortal pits 30 players, in brackets Shadows against one Immortal. A decisive moment in the larger Cycle of Strife. The outcome will ripple across the realm, so if I'm understanding this correctly, there will be some competitive PvE raids. 30 players versus one Immortal, and there will be houses, which I guess would be factions maybe, or something like guilds, and people from one faction will challenge an Immortal and so on. I would like to know more about it. Now, PvP updates. In addition to the exciting feature coming to the Cycle of Strife, other PvP systems that have undergone iteration will be making their debut. Those with the ambition to become the best PvPers in the game will be able to stake their claim. The Battleground ladder is coming, enabling players to measure their prowess against others in their realm. There is no better time to jump in the fray, as we've also made changes to class balance, time to kill, and other impactful elements of Battleground PvP in Diablo Immortal. This sounds nice, but again, the game allows people to earn wood and rewards quicker if they pay, or if they have someone who has paid in their team, and upgrade their gems quicker and earn gems easier and faster. So there is a little bit of pay to win, and if you plan on playing PvP, eventually things will even out, but at the beginning people who pay will have an advantage over those who don't, until you've maxed out all your gear. And that's when you would actually be on equal footing with others, when you've grinded enough to have fully and completely maxed out every single thing, squeezed every single little bit of DPS and upgrades that you can. And that would take a while, whereas others who pay might maybe need 60% of the time, 50%, 40% of the time you need. This is my main concern with the game. Next comes a little bit info about set items. On top of the above changes, a new endgame gear system has been implemented. In closed beta, set items will become available for secondary gear slots. Once a player wears a sufficient number of items from the same set, that player will be bestowed an additional bonus. To elaborate on this new system, each set is for the same 6 slots, including hands, feet, 2 rings, necklace and waist. Each set has 2 unique bonuses, one for wearing 3 pieces and one for wearing 6 pieces. So ultimately you can wear a full set for its 2 bonuses, or alternatively mix 3 pieces of 2 different sets for 2 different 3-piece bonuses, which I like. It reminds me in a way of Torchlight 3, but not really, because in Torchlight 3 you only needed 3 pieces of a set, you didn't have a 6-piece bonus. But this is nice, it's fun. Mix and matching, as long as the 3-piece bonuses are just as strong as the 6-piece bonuses, then there will be a lot of diversity. Sacrificing a 6-piece bonus so you can get 2 times the 3-piece bonus sounds like a good thing. Now a little bit more info. Sets contain attributes around primary attacks, survival/HP, fast movement, damage over time, summoning pets or crowd controlling enemies, allowing players to mix and match to their desired playstyle, which opens up a lot of builds, I hope. Next, enhanced item drops. Here is a screenshot that they've shared. Select game difficulty, Hell 1, Hell 2, Hell 3, Hell 4. So different Paragon levels are suggested for the different Hell difficulties. I hope they don't make this a constant power creep where you're constantly grinding Paragons and they constantly add new Hell difficulties and keep increasing the Paragon levels. Hopefully there's a final limit and final difficulty that goes with people that have that level of the paragons. We can see here that Hell 4 increases the drops equipment for paragon levels 160 and 300, and drops set items and requires a party of 4, that difficulty. Probably there's gonna be builds that can maybe solve on though. Active players who progress in paragon levels or seek challenges by adventuring in higher difficulty content will reap greater rewards. Both paths unlock the potential for the game to drop more powerful items. More powerful items will enable players to battle the minions of Hell on greater difficulties with even greater rewards. So power creep, hopefully they just don't overdo it. Now let's talk about the Helliquary update. Master your courage and rally your friends. More mayhem is coming to the Helliquary. Helliquary bosses are now designed for raids of 8 people. This is one of many changes we're making to PvE to make it more challenging and rewarding to players who complete these objectives as they cycle weekly. I'm not sure if there's gonna be any competitive aspects here, other than maybe who completes it first or faster, whether there's gonna be leaderboards or anything. I think this would just be a weekly challenge, weekly dungeon rotation. I wish I could play the game and provide more info because it's not explained in detail, but it sounds like an interesting thing to make players want to log in at least once every week to check the new Helliquary in rotation. And next, PVE updates. Beyond the Helliquary, we're making changes to the various PVE activities. We want to provide players with choices about whether they prefer doing bounties, Elder Rifts or dungeons to progress their character. You get to choose which activities you want to engage in, and no matter what you choose, you earn progress on the Battle Pass. The rewards from bounties have been moved to the Battle Pass, so players have flexibility to earn the rewards in any way they want. Here is a screenshot of the bounty board. There's some interesting bounties. Kill toxic lurkers to collect paralytic venom. Kill night howards, kill bog creatures, kill monsters in the field swamp. And those rewarding gold, coins and random, I guess, equipment. Now, I don't know about bounties. It says accepted 0 out of 8. Is that a daily 8 bounties? Is that weekly 8 bounties? I don't like limits. It seems disgusting to me, time gating me to only do X amount of bounties a day or X amount of bounties a week. People should be able to do as much of any type of content as they want, whenever they want, without any limitations, without any time gates. Unfortunately, mobile games are plagued with this cancerous game design that time gates progress, and for people who only can play 1 or 2 or 3 days a week and cannot play the other days of the week, or people who only have a little time every day, it's not that balanced. So you should let people play as much as they want whenever they have the time and still earn equal rewards to someone who spreads out their gaming on different sessions. For example, a person who spends 20 hours in the weekend should have the same progress and rewards as a person who plays 20 hours spread out throughout the whole week. And time gates prevent this from happening. So there is something they're mentioning here again. Dungeon crawling is the hallmark of the Diablo experience. The pursuit of wood and earning new gear is a critical ingredient to the formula of fun in our games. We've made challenge rifts a core part of your gear progression, especially higher challenge rifts. For players who want the highest level gear, seek out new upgrade materials in challenge rifts that can't be acquired any other way. So this is another thing I don't like. Gating certain drops behind certain amount of type of content. Any type of upgrade material should be available from any type of content. If people don't like one type of content, they shouldn't be forced to do it because it's the only type of content that drops certain rewards. It has been like that for 20 years and it still hasn't changed. People still tie and limit certain drops to certain types of content. Whereas there are some games that don't do that, and I love those games that let you get any type of drop from any type of content the game can offer. Now, a little bit to be said about controller support. They're saying that they've heard players loud and clear, and their long-term goal is to provide full controller support for Diablo Immortal. What they're saying is we are not there yet and there is more work to do. The closed beta will give players an early preview of this functionality. This early look at controller support will allow the use of a controller to navigate around the world and engage in combat with monsters. This early controller support comes with major caveats. The closed beta does not include controller support for UI menus such as inventory, skills, codex, paragon or vendors. You will still need to use the touchscreen to navigate UI screens. Not all controllers are supported. Device compatibility is part of our testing goals during closed beta. You may experience some technical difficulties such as controller disconnection. They're saying that there's a list of supported controllers for the closed beta, and it is Xbox One wireless Bluetooth controller, Xbox Series XS Bluetooth controller, Xbox Elite controller Series 2, Xbox Adaptive controller, Sony DualShock 4 and Razer Kishi. Please note, more mobile compatible controllers will be supported at global release. Miscellaneous changes. Beyond these exciting PvP and PvE changes, more tuning and polish is happening behind the scenes affecting the Codex, Paragon and XP systems. Many of these tweaks and changes are aimed at smoothing the leveling and progression experience. For example, the Codex Power Progression UI has been improved to provide players a clearer path of progression through tutorials and goals. All this sounds interesting. Very vague though. Now there is a little bit to be said about optional in-game purchases. I like how they've put optional there, even though obviously it provides an edge to those who pay. The closed beta will for the first time enable in-game purchasing on Android devices. This marks an important development milestone as we progress forward. We want all Diablo Immortal players to feel good about their investment in the game, and that any purchase they choose to make deliver the value they expect. Validating the appeal of the game in this way is an important component of ensuring a smooth launch, also enabling us to support the game for years to come. This sounds as if something that came out from a boardroom, something that someone out there composed, made as a little paragraph to say to a bunch of people in suits that decide the future of the franchise or whatever. It sounds like it's something not made for the gamers to know, but for board directors of whatever, people in suits to know. Going forward, it says players will be able to purchase the Empowered Battle Pass, Eternal Orbs, which may be used to purchase consumable items such as crests in-game, and promotional bundles. For more information on the team's approach to monetization in Diablo Immortal, please see our free-to-play approach and values. And by the way, I have a video about that. I have a video I've made long ago, a year ago, last December, about their free-to-play approach and values. You might want to watch that if you care about it. They're saying, please note, all purchases made during closed beta will be credited to the account used as in-game balance at game launch. In-game progress will be wiped when closed beta has completed. For example, if you spend $5 during the closed beta, when you download Diablo Immortal at official launch and connect your Battle.net account, you will receive a $5 in-game credit that can only be used in Diablo Immortal. Next, we will just read a little bit of closing paragraph as well as frequently asked questions and answers. Let the beta commence. The closed beta is here and we'd love to hear from our participants. We welcome you to share your impressions and feedback on the Diablo Immortal subreddit or across our other channels as we progress through the closed beta. We'll be listening to your feedback as we aim to craft an awesome Diablo experience. If you want to learn more about Diablo Immortal, check out our website or For real-time updates, follow our Twitter at Diablo Immortal. Heroes to Sanctuary, thank you and have fun raising some hell this Halloween season. Now on to the frequently asked questions. Why is the closed beta only available to Android devices? For the closed beta we have chosen to only test on Android in order to access and study the optional in-game purchase experience. How do I take part in the closed beta? Currently the closed beta is primarily limited to Android users in Canada, Australia, South Korea, Japan and China. Please reference the dates and times above for when those tests begin, but they don't mention dates about South Korea, Japan and China, by the way. So what dates? How many players will take part in the closed beta? We anticipate tens of thousands will be able to take part in the closed beta. Mobile game development can often benefit from multiple rounds of public testing. By holding this closed beta in limited regions, we'll be able to take in valuable server stability and client performance data, as well as critical gameplay feedback. Well, the more regions you let in, the more feedback you can get, so this is bullshit. Sure, you're limiting it to a certain 2 countries at first and then opening 3 more countries. But what about Europe? What about Africa? Do you want to leave the Europe and Africa and American stability problems for launch? Why don't you test other regions? This is bullshit. Okay, how long will the closed beta last? We are aiming to keep the closed beta running under 3 months. We'll be testing more late game systems and controller support this time around, so we are keeping it up longer to make sure players have enough time to play through all of them. And the final 2 questions. What devices does Diablo Immortal support? We are aiming to bring epic Diablo gameplay to as many devices and players as possible. And blah 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 blah. Minimum requirements: Snapdragon 670 or Exynos 8895 and higher. As CPU, GPU Adreno 615/Mali G71 MP20 and higher. RAM 2 GB of RAM and higher. Version Android OS 5.0 Lollipop and higher. And when will Diablo Immortal be released? We are planning to release Diablo Immortal in the first half of 2022, so before June. June is normally the Diablo anniversary month, so I won't be surprised if they do it then. And that pretty much is it. Again, I'm still disappointed in a way from some of the things and how they're handled, in particular the cash shop stuff, but the game has very nice itemization, very nice variety, I guess, of content. Interesting Paragon system that is different than the Diablo 3 Paragon system, I think better. So there are things that are good about Diablo Immortal, and if there wasn't anything non-cosmetic in the cash shop, I would have seen myself playing a lot of it via an emulator. But alas, there is things I don't like in the cash shop, so you won't see me playing and streaming it much, maybe just for a few days when it's available to Europe. I'm not a fan of Blizzard's discriminatory testing, so I hope they stop being racists and let the rest of the world play. And that way we can give them feedback that would be valuable. Thank you for watching this. I really appreciate you sticking until the end and hearing me rant while providing news. And if you want to be notified for further content like this, feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel. And optionally you can even support me with a membership, which will give you emotes, badges that are custom made by me, and optionally you have to let me know if you want some tutorials, basics of Photoshop, Premiere, etc. Keep it cool, Strike Web, thanks for watching again, and until next time.